Hi guys, my name is Unique. If you are new to the channel, then you should know that the content covered here is financial literacy and Canadian immigration. If you feel as though this video may be for you, then please remember to comment, like, share, most importantly subscribe, and do not forget to hit that notification bell so you will be the first to know whenever there's a new video uploaded. If you are already an existing subscriber, welcome back guys. So today guys, we are going to be having a guest on the show. His name is Carlton Benjamin, so stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back. As I said before, we are going to have a guest on the show today. His name is Carlton Benjamin. He is a senior financial advisor. Um, you know, this video is going to focus on investments and a lot of questions that I had from some of these subscribers. So instead of me answering the questions, I am going to let Carlton answer those questions for you, just to have a different face rather than just my face all the time. And I will be doing this from time to time as well, so you will have the opportunity to see other people on the channel in their respectful profession that will come and share their information with you guys as well. So I hope you guys do appreciate that. With that being said, Carlton, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good night, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Carlton Benjamin. I want to thank Unique for having me on board on our show. This is a great platform to be on. I myself right now is a financial security advisor, and currently I'm a senior partner with Eau Claire Partners.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Carlton, for introducing yourself. So, during the last few videos that I uploaded, I had some subscribers that had some really interesting questions. And instead of me answering the questions, I thought it would be beneficial, to bring someone else on the platform. So the first question I had was from someone that wanted to know that if they had a regular savings account, would you recommend that they use that money to invest?
So that's a good question. Thanks for asking that, Unique. In my humble opinion, I must say that this has to really do with an individual. So first of all, what I would say is sit down and look at your situation, see what your needs are. We need to identify a purpose, but at the same time, we need to make sure that if you're saving money, but at the same time you got some debt lying around that you need to clear up, you saving money might only be it's sort of redundant. So we got to look at the whole picture. So what I'd suggest for that person is to sit down with a financial advisor, Yannick or myself, and let's look at the whole picture. Look at what your situation is like. Maybe you got some debts that you need to pay off. Maybe you need to, have some emergency fund. That's extremely important. If the pandemic has taught us anything, is that the clock can actually stop on anybody, any particular individual, and you need to have an emergency fund. So what we normally recommend is 3 to 6 months, and then we typically say, if you can afford to do 8 months, then that would put you in a nice little more comfortable buffer. But those are the first things that I would probably look at first, and then we will talk about investments. So when we talk about investments as well, we need to make sure that you have a purpose. And once we figure out the purpose, then we can decide whether or not that money should be invested into an investment account. Hopefully that answers the question.
Thank you so much, Carlton. I think that was a great response to that question. So the second question I had was the same person actually. They wanted to know how much of a guarantee they would have in order to know what type of investment to choose.
There is no such thing as absolute guaranteed investments. Obviously, it's all the risk. But unless it's doomsday, then we can almost deliver on almost everything that we tend to deliver on. So that's why we're in the business of professionally actively manage portfolio. We call it safe investing. So you would need to sit down with an advisor, and then we get to kind of figure out what you're like. We'd conduct something that's called an investor profile, just to see what your tolerance is. We'd give you the different options of investment vehicles out there. So, similar to an investment presentation, we call it investment 101. So we look at the purpose of you, why you want to invest as well. We look at your tolerance, and then we can think about selecting um, the proper investment portfolio that you would fit in. Because again, there's multiple portfolios out there, and everyone has a different taste in terms of whether they want to be risky, they want to be very conservative, or they want to be medium risk. There is a whole lot of investments out there, and believe me, everyone's different. We just need to sit down with your advisor, and then we need to be able to figure out which one would best suit you.
You know, currently we are in the middle of a pandemic, and there are a lot of people out there that are trying to find, other streams of income. And another subscriber wanted to know how much they would be able to make from their investment.
That's a very good question. We get that question a lot. The thing is, again, we need to teach that individual the five basic principles of investment. So again, we want to sit down with an individual. We want to educate them on investments. Um, we can't just give you a number, right? And it seems like you're asking for a specific. But what we can look at the historical data out there on the different investment portfolios, and what they're averaging in terms of rate of return. And then based on your tolerance, if you fit in one of those portfolios, then we can put you in there. Then we have a great idea of what this portfolio might bring you in terms of returns into your pocket. Um, Again, what I recommend is taking the time to learn the five basic principles, which includes the purpose of investments, whether it's a short term, medium term, or a long term investment. So, short term could mean you're saving for a vacation. The medium could be you're saving to buy a house or some sort of big ticket item. Long term could be retirement, education plan for your kids. What is the purpose of the investment? Then we can talk about, we can teach you what the wealth formula is, which includes, we're going to help you to understand about inflation. We're going to help you to understand about taxation. Which one of the vehicles do you want to be in? Because I mean, each investment portfolio could do something different in terms of how you're being taxed on your investment. So we're going to look at that as well and see which one will fit your needs. We're going to look at the rate of return, and we're going to look at the biggest one, which is time, right? We think that time is the greatest asset to investments, because it depends on when you enter the market, when you're pulling out of the market, how much return you can actually get. So that's what I would leave that with. Sit down with an advisor so we can get to, educate you, give you that basic knowledge, and then we can teach you these principles, figure out where do you fit in, and then we'll put you into that portfolio, and then you'd have an idea how that would look for you in terms of your returns.
What advice would you have for those that are skeptical when it comes to investments?
Uh, Advice, ask for help. You see, a lot of times we find that a lot of people think that investment is this topic that they may, because they don't have a lot of knowledge in terms, with the whole investment industry. Um, so they may not want to go in it, and they may say, "Hey, man, I don't even know where to start." Well, this is how you start. You find somebody like Unique, you find somebody like myself. You can look up financial advisors, investment advisors, and then you can try and learn, right? Learn about investments, learn about what safe investing means, learn about diversification. You want to learn about dollar cost averaging. You want to learn about, how to stay disciplined, right? So once you have the knowledge, you will then in return gain some confidence. You see, one of the greatest thing about what we do as advisors when we talk about investments to a client, we show them exactly where their money is going, what sector, whether it's tech, whether it's oil, we show them what company their money is in. And so that knowledge, that knowing brings a bit of a confidence, because now you know that you're investing into a company, and not say you're investing into like just the stock market. You're gonna have some better confidence when you know that you're invested in Colgate, or you're invested in Campbell's Soup, or you're invested in, Tesla. So once you get to kind of like learn about investing and then know where your money is going, you're gonna have a lot more confidence about actually stepping in there. So get out there, learn, get your feet wet, If you're skeptical, start off, you can start off by $50 per month, $100 per month. But start off, feel, get your feet wet, and then after that, you can dive in once you start to see some positive results from that. But that's how that's what I'd recommend for someone that's skeptical and want to learn more. Just get out there, talk to people.
I really hope the people that were looking for answers, I really hope that you are taking, the advice that is being offered. Like I said, Carlton is or one of my business partners. He's actually a senior financial security advisor. So, I really respect and hold him at a higher standard, than most people when it comes to the advice that he is giving. If it actually wasn't for Carlton, I actually would not be where I am today. And because of him, he has taught me so much about financial literacy, where I'm now even able to, bring in a second stream of income for myself. And with that being said, I have one last question for you, Carlton. So I had one subscriber that wanted to know what is a trust fund, how it works, and how they can go about setting up a trust fund for their child or children.
A trust fund. So trust is, it's a really unique and very tax efficient way of passing asset down to your family members. And what does that mean? I can try and give an example, but then again, if you really need that expertise advice on trust, you need to talk to an accountant or an estate planning sort of lawyer. They're more of the expert in this field. I'm giving it based on someone that's actually been practicing creating the trust for my family. So I'm just going to give you an example. So Carlton and his wife has two kids. They have some properties and some assets, right? They want to pass on to their children. In addition to a will, a trust is, we would say, a better vehicle to pass that asset down in terms of not having those assets being taxed by the government. So what we do, we create like another entity. So we create like a business, and we call it the Carlton and Sephora's or the Benjamin's Family Trust. Then we would dedicate our assets to that trust, and that Benjamin's Family Trust is now the owner of our assets and our properties. We would then be the trustee of that company, that entity. The entity could also have a lawyer as the trustee to sort of oversee the assets and the properties if something was supposed to happen to myself and my wife. It's a really good way to pass down assets, because then you can have directions of how they get passed down to maybe you don't want your kids to get it until they get to a certain milestone. Maybe it's 18 years old, or they have to finish school and stuff like that. So once the trust is set up, then all your wishes would go towards that, and they can then acquire whatever it may be in that trust that should be shared among them. Hopefully that makes sense. So now something happens to Carlton and wife. Two kids are left. The trust is there. They're able to come and take those assets and those properties, and they now become the owners of those properties. So they're the beneficiary. Now, why is that tax efficient? Because it was in a trust. The government does not have that probate attached to it. When we die, we go through this thing called a probate system. So the government takes all our stuff and it becomes public records. Now everybody knows exactly how much debt we have, how much money we have. It's a public record. Now, everybody that we may have owed money to, they come and they want to get their hands in to take money. Everybody comes in, creditors, your family members, and they come in. But with a trust, it's legitimately set up so that only the people that are in the trust can actually touch the assets and the property that are in that trust fund. It's a really, really neat way to, pass down assets to your family. But you can also have a will with that. And if something did not end up in the trust at the time because you never had that asset, you could also put that into the will. And you could say, whenever I passed away, this will, I need this to be added to my trust, which would then be dedicated to the kids that are in that trust or whoever it is in that trust. If you own a company and you have a trust, then you could be able to say what's going to happen to the company when you, if you were supposed to pass away. You could have a trustee, which could be somebody else that would sort of oversee your company till all the right decisions are made. If there was nobody that would have been competent enough to take your company to another level or continue your company. So yeah, hopefully that makes some sense. It is, again, if you need more information, the best people to talk to or estate planning lawyers, legal teams, and an accountant. But yeah, it's honestly a great thing to be a part of. And yes, you'll save some taxes on that if you were supposed to set one up for your children to pass down your assets.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing, Carlton. That was, quite a mouthful of information. If you guys have questions, please leave it in the comment section below. So guys, I'm going to end up leaving Carlton's information below in the description section. So with that being said, Carlton, thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you all the best. Hey guys, so I really hope that you enjoyed the video today. If you would like to reach out to Carlton directly, you can check the description below and you will find all the information that you need to reach out to him, to ask him any additional questions that you guys may have. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, do not forget to hit that notification bell so you guys will be the first to know whenever there's a new video uploaded. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.